today we're offering our first ʻŌlelo Hawaii language and performing arts workshop.
We're so excited about this workshop. So what we're hoping to achieve by hosting this is really cultivating a community of ʻŌlelo speakers. And we know that today we're not going to walk away speaking fluent ʻŌlelo Hawaii. However, being able to connect language to our culture and our values and to the Aina itself, to our land, is really, really exciting.
Language is a reflection of our worldview. And so learning Hawaiian language or learning Samoan language or any language can reconnect you to the values that your culture holds that have developed over thousands and thousands of years. And so some of us, especially in the diaspora, don't have the opportunity to connect with those values and that bring us together as a community. So relearning the language helps us to stay grounded and rooted in values like inclusivity and reciprocity.
A lot of people are usually surprised by the fact, knowing that I grew up, that I was born and raised here on the continent, and a lot of us had to work really, really hard to stay connected to Hawaii. That's the goal, right? Is always to be able to provide more than what we had for our next generation.
I wanted to take this workshop because I am Native Hawaiian by ethnicity, and I unfortunately was very disconnected throughout my upbringing from my Hawaiian culture. And to look around the room and understand who else is on this journey with me and who else I can collaborate with or bring into my own personal spaces or my work environment spaces, so that I can continue deepening my journey and so that I can maybe support others in their journey as well.
I want to learn more about my culture and my ancestors and stuff like that, and I just want to learn how they spoke, and so I can be able to speak like that too. I was trying to get into school in Hawaii, but since I couldn't, I just figured that I would try taking a class here that's closer to me and that's more accessible and available.
I like learning about the culture, so I figured this is just another way to expand.
So I say, right, I favor this side of my ethnicity, my cultural background, but it's so undiscovered even within my own family. And so I think that's one also area of resource of things that I've tried to ask my family members about, but then it's go out and see what you can find. And so when there's opportunities like this, I feel oh, why wouldn't I jump on that?
What we are doing in partnership as university, as community college, and with ʻUmeke Koi, we're hoping to bring to our region, new opportunities.
Polynesian languages are languages that have been met with major resistance with colonial contact. As a university, I feel it's our obligation to give back what was taken and to provide at no cost, when we can, opportunities for communities to reclaim their heritage.
To be able to reconnect with something that is still inside you, but you know nothing about, is humbling, and kind of makes me a little emotional because it's always something that I've always wanted to know. But because I'm also from a generation where my parents, if you look at my name, wanted to disconnect me, not on purpose, from my culture and my lineage, based only on the fact they wanted me to have a different and better life.
It's so important to be able to have these resources accessible to us locally, not just, yes, we're so fortunate to have technology of Zoom and online and things like that, but to have these things in person. We'll now welcome Dr. Grant Wong Sutia. I will pass the floor to the expert. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kākou. Nui ko mahalo I ke kua no ke iohui ano kākou I ke ala. Mahalo nui a kumu I lima no ke kona ana mai au no ke ia papahana nui nei. Mahalo nui a oko pakahi apau. As a Samoan, I had the opportunity to learn Hawaiian by studying at the University of Hawaii Manoa, and many Hawaiian scholars and professors graciously shared their language with me. And as Samoans and Hawaiians, we're very closely related, like siblings kind. So for me to be able to serve as a resource for our Hawaiian siblings here in the community, and just to share what I know, and hopefully that might be useful for them to reconnect, is a privilege for me. what I wanted to do to kind of start us off was to kind of put some context into where Hawaiian language comes from linguistically. And so Hawaiian is a member of one of the largest language families in the world, called the Austronesian language family. And it's related to the languages of Polynesia, Micronesia, Melanesia, all the way into Southeast Asia, like the Philippines and Indonesia, and then even as far off the coast of Africa and Madagascar.
Because I think the Hawaiian culture is so beautiful and important to live on, hand in hand, it's important for the language to also live on.
Learning hula, learning language, learning how to make leis, and it's just so sacred to me, and it's disappearing. And there's so many beautiful, wonderful things that this culture has to offer and should not be forgotten. And I feel like it's my duty, as not just to my family, but to my land, that my mana, that I should help. I should do something. I should learn how to hula. I should learn how to speak. I should learn ʻŌlelo and as many as I possibly can, as much as I possibly can while I'm still here, and then pass it on.
One of the first things we do as Polynesians is to greet each other, right? So we're gonna learn how different ways to greet each other and where those origins came from. As we know, the greeting word in Hawaiian is aloha. Everybody say aloha. Aloha. Okay. Aloha has many meanings, right? One of the meanings is love, right? And that's really the core meaning of aloha, is love. And so as Hawaiians, and this is the same in Samoan, where we say talofa, our word for love is alofa. So we always greet each other with love. It's in the word we use, literally. If I say aloha mai kākou, that means there's more than just two of us, okay? So if I'm talking to her here and I say aloha mai kāua, right? And then, but if there's four of us here and I just say aloha mai kāua, that's rude. Yeah, I didn't include those guys, right? So Hawaiian is always very cognizant of inclusivity, right? And it's reflected in the language, to where we make sure that everyone in the space is included. And if we don't do that, that's a sort of a sign of disrespect, right? And so when we're greeting people, we want to make sure that we're being inclusive. Unless we want to be disrespectful, then at least we'll do it intentionally and not on accident, right?
I didn't know that the Tagalog language was the language of the Philippines, that it had, that was part of that Austronesian language region. But to hear some of the pronouns, like how we is very nuanced and very specific, how we say we in Hawaiian could mean all of us together or just us and not you. The Tagalog language is similar.
The relationship you have with your parents and your grandparents and your family is the same relationship that you have to the place that you're from, right? The place that your roots are traced back to, okay? So, e ho piri mai, no hea mai oi. Okay, and then the response to that is no, and then you put the place that you're from, mai au, okay? Au is me or I, and oi is you, okay? No hea mai oi. Okay, now you folks ask me, ready, go. No oceanside mai au. Okay, all right, good. Okay, no hea mai oi. Oh, San Diego mai kai. Oi, no hea mai oi.
No osai.
No osai. Oh, where's that? I know Oceanside, I don't know where Osai. No hea mai oi.
No San Diego mai.
No San Diego. No hea mai oi. No San Diego. Nui ka po'e no San Diego. No hea mai oi. No San Diego. Okay. No hea mai oi. No Riverside. Okay, no Riverside.
It was all very interactive, which I feel like I learned by doing. So I really enjoyed that. It was just more like a welcoming community that made me feel like I wasn't necessarily learning anything, and I was just here to have fun.
All right, so we're gonna end today in the last 20 minutes or so here with a mele to look at the language and then a little bit of movement. Opai ho'i, and 1, 2. Okay? All right, opai and 2 and 1. Other side, opai, 1, 2 and 1, 2. Good.
The whole thing was pretty exciting to recognize things that I'd already heard like growing up, and then to be like oh, like that's what that means, and then like just like curious to like learn more about it and like the.
Okay, opai, 5, 6. Opai, yeah. 1, 2. Opai ho'i, and hele. Ua hele mai au, ua hele mai au. Na kuahina gonna go up front, out, and back. Here. Okay, for my sister, where she went. Okay, all right. Right over left. Right over left. Yes. Right over left. Okay. Opai. 5, 6. Opai. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Opai ho'i. 2 and hele. Wa hele mai au. Wa hele mai au. Na kua. 1, 2, and right.
It made me realize that I have a lot to learn. There's a lot that I've heard, I can hear and know the language, but I don't. There's still a little bit of a disconnect. I think what Dr. Grant did was just reinstill with me that I still have an opportunity to learn my native language.
Nui o puhi, ali ili